Hi guys, let's do a little mini update here. I am in the hotel, just took a shower. I'm going to just update on everything that happened with Azariah. So we came on Sunday to stay in a hotel, and then we needed to go Monday to do a sleep study. So we went to go do the sleep study. Oh my goodness, I haven't slept since Sunday night. It's Tuesday night. Well, I think I catnapped. I think I might have slept for like 20 minutes. Anyhow, so we went to Boston Children's, got them all checked in last night. Not we, me. Went to get them all checked in last night. I took an Uber from where we are over there, because we have to always have somebody in the back with him while driving. So we got over there, got them all settled. They went and set up. The nursing and stuff was really nice on the floor that we were on. It's kind of funny because one of my friends has been on that floor off and on for a while, and so she's always like, I love my floor, and the nursing and stuff on that floor is just really awesome. So I felt really blessed by that. So we got him situated in his pajamas, gave him his meds, did all the things, and then so what they do is they put probes like all over his head and then like on his cheeks, and they put another thing under his nose, under his oxygen, so they can tell the amount of carbon coming out. Correct me if I'm wrong, tired. And then they wrap their whole head, so he looks like a little mummy with his eyes sticking out. He did not like that at all. So poor guy was crying for like 2 hours. Now, he never cries, never. I mean, he might cry for like a minute, but not like, very rarely does he like cry. Usually you pick him up and he is content. So he just grabbed his, the cord to his filler bag. He's right next to it. So we got there, got him all situated, and then he was just crying. I just felt so bad. I was trying to rock him, standing up and rocking him. Thankfully, the nursing staff that I had this time was really, really nice. And so we were able to, she just like advocated for me all the way, which was such a blessing. So it was really weird because the night before we decided to go to church, which was an evening, just the people who are here in Boston, to some of our friends in Boston, and go to their church. It's like some people that have been praying for Azariah like this whole time, and so it was such a blessing, and we stayed up late. So I think we got back here at like midnight. So we got back here at midnight, and so we just kind of had a little bit of a long day the night before, and then he was grumpy, poor guy. And I forgot the cord. This is how like one small trip like this can just become, a struggle. So my husband calls and he's like, you have the cord to the pump sitting here on the floor. And I'm like, oh. And I was like, well, I can just bolus feed him. I know it would be like a kind of a pain, but I knew I could bolus feed him. I figured if I was going to the hospital, they probably will like have a pump anyway. Usually they want you to use like their equipment at the hospital. So I'm like, I'll have a pump anyway. And he's like, it's okay, like I'll just bring it down. I'm like, he's like, it says it's only like an hour and 15 minutes or something. I'm like, okay, if you want to, but don't feel like you have to. So he brought the cord down, which was great. So we plugged his pump in, so I had his pump during the day. Our plan was to go and do more things in Lexington, because you'll see on my Large Family Adventures channel, I will have some of Lexington, but then we never get back because it started downpouring. So then last night I took the cab over to, an Uber over to the hospital, got all the things on, poor guy. So he gets all settled. So the plan is to have him with just his oxygen and just to monitor him for 2 hours or an hour and a half. Thank you. So they did that, and he actually, like, after the 2 hours, he actually slept for that time, which was kind of incredible because at home he doesn't sleep much. And then they went to put the BiPAP on him, which is this, it has a mask that like goes over his nose and around his head. And so it's really cute. It's a little giraffe. So it has like a little piece on here and goes around his head. So they put that on him, woke him up to put that on him, and he cried for about 15 minutes. I rocked him back to sleep, and then I laid him down. So then I'm like, okay, maybe I can just, I put an audiobook on, and I was just kind of sitting over there. I didn't have like bedding and stuff because I knew that I'd be up and down. So I just like sat there for a minute listening to the book, and then something was happening, and her BiPAP machine totally like malfunctioned. So he was only on BiPAP, he was not on his oxygen. So obviously if he doesn't have his oxygen and he's not having the pressure from the BiPAP, then he's going to desat, which means like his oxygen levels are going to go way down fairly rapidly. So then everyone came in, they got a mask, they put oxygen on him on the mask. We got him back up to like a safe level, waited a little bit, and then she was able to go onto a different machine, which was like Ophthalmology's machine. So she was able to do that. So the machine wasn't working. They brought a new machine in and pretty much started it all over again. So he had to get the mask back on and all that stuff. So about 15 minutes later, after him crying, he was able to settle down and then go back to sleep again on the new machine. Now they were being very cautious at this time because now he's on a different machine. So then there was people in the room for the remainder. So the only time that somebody really left was just in that beginning hour and a half. So they like watch it from another room. It has monitors, so he's being videoed and such from a couple angles, just in case like anything goes on. He started to have a seizure or something like that. Like somebody's monitoring from another room. So that was situated. It was a little kind of like the nurses and everything came in, and I was like, and they're like, yeah, we need to bring him up quick. And so they weren't like panicky. They were just kind of like, yeah, we need to bring him up quick. And then they got the oxygen on his face. Then there was talk of like, do we put his nasal cannula back in, or how are we going to approach this? So it ended up working okay. And he slept, which is like shocking because Mr. barely ever sleeps. So he slept, and he slept pretty well. I mean, he does sleep okay. He's just usually, he sleeps okay if he's sleeping in my arms. So he had a good night. Yeah. And then, so this morning, I'm thinking that we're going to be able to check right out of the hospital.
You're a silly boy. Silly boy. Ooh, get it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Me foot.
So then this morning I thought that I actually had an appointment afterwards, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know. I just asked if I was supposed to like pack things up and go down to that appointment, or the people were supposed to come and meet me up here. And they're like, no, you need to stay, whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? It was just, I guess, miscommunication. I don't know why they didn't say like most likely you're going to be staying here. So then they were saying that they wanted me to stay there until his feeds got situated. Oh, I didn't even mention that part. So if you're on BiPAP, or if he's on BiPAP, he can't be fed at the same time. So he went all night with no feeds. So just trying to like navigate this whole how much feed is he gonna get and how much, like, what he needs for the BiPAP. So they're like, well, we're gonna wait until you, basically they were saying they were gonna wait until he actually got the BiPAP. So they wanted us to stay in the hospital the whole time until he got the BiPAP. I'm like, I feel very comfortable. He has been like not on a BiPAP the whole time. Can we just like order it to the house and I can come back in or whatever? Like, I have not planned for this. I left on Sunday to my 2 little girls literally bawling their eyes out. And I'm like, yeah, it's just challenging, right? So most of the nurses were actually advocating for me to do just that. So long story short, everyone talked to everyone and they were able to get me out of there today. Praise the Lord for that. I just was not mentally and physically ready for that. I only had, like, they don't have our formula there. I only have like enough for a couple days of formula, so I would have had to go back to the house. I just ordered some in to our house, so I think it's coming in on Wednesday or something. I would have had to like go back and get formula and like get clothes. Like, I didn't have like anything. I expected to be there for one night, so it was very draining in a way. Yeah, it was kind of just like emotionally draining. Like, what's going on? Why do I need to stay here? And I was trying to just explain, like, okay, he's been okay this whole time. Unless there's something serious that you feel like it's going to be a danger for him to leave, then why can't he just come home and then we can figure it out? So in the meantime, I figured out all his, they're like, well, we're going to have to talk to nutrition. We're going to have to do this. It always takes forever to do whatever. And I was like, okay. I had just talked to nutrition the other day and we had a plan for when I got back from Boston. We had a plan on how I was going to be feeding Azariah. So I kind of just tweaked that with the same amount of, actually a little bit more formula than was on the plan. And that would allow him to have from 2 to 6 on the BiPAP overnight. And then that's the starting point, and then we'll like make it go longer. But I'm trying to like navigate the report. They're gonna call me on Thursday with the full report because the full report doesn't come out for at least 24 to 48 hours. So they'll give me the full report, but I'm trying to like read like what they have there, and I'm a little confused because it says he's normally on half a liter, and it said that he was on a BiPAP and it gave like the numbers. I think it was like 14/8, and then he was having 2 liters, and I'm like, why would I want to give him 2 liters of oxygen if he does okay at half a liter? I probably am not understanding everything, so it's definitely a question that I have, because to me it seems like he would need more if he was having that, but it could be different. I did see on there, I didn't see any central sleep apneas, which was wonderful. I did also get the opportunity to talk to Complex Care, and I was talking about his eyes. And so everyone is always asking me about his eyes. Could potentially he have something that could help his eyes? Like maybe wearing glasses might help. We don't know. We will need to get evaluated again. When he was evaluated before, his eyes were doing a lot of like sundowning, which were going like looking down. So he would need to be reevaluated at that point. Can he see? Yes. Can he track things? Yes. Do his eyes often go crossed? Yes. Do they often go crossed and down? Sometimes. But basically what it is it's a type of blindness, they call it, but it's like a neurological blindness. So it's like the brain isn't telling the eyeballs what to do. So basically we're trying to get therapy to help with, it's almost like, OT or PT. It's like for people that have this condition, and to help like his body, like his brain, to recognize like how to do that. So there's different activities and such that you can do to help that. I mean, it's never going to be corrected. unless the Lord decides that he's going to correct it because it's something just about him. And isn't it so cute? He's like, oh, look. I think it's so sweet. Anyway, that is, let's see. So that was that. Did I tell you about OT on Friday? I think I already did. So not next week. So tomorrow we have a heme appointment, and that's still here in, well, Boston, the greater Boston area. I think it's in Waltham tomorrow. So we'll do that, and then we'll head back to the house. And then I think we have an appointment on Thursday, and then I have nursing. I have 2 appointments, I think of the Zoom and an in-person appointment on Thursday, and then I have an appointment with someone on Friday, OT, PT, I forget which one. And then next week I have an appointment for my daughter with type 1 on, I don't even know. I think I have 4 appointments next week. So we have a lot of appointments going on. So that's what's going on with him. What's going on with the house? I don't know if we should put housing and Azariah like all in one. I guess I will. It's just like, we don't actually, oh, it's so funny. Did you find it? So we're going to be looking actually for him for a lot of different equipment. I know what I was going to say. I'm not going to put the housing in there as well. So we got his braces the other day. I'll share some clips because he was sitting in his tomato seat, which is so cute. And I think that, and he got his braces made again. And she said that she would see him in a couple months, which will be exciting. So he wears his braces at nighttime. And I'm probably going to start doing it a little bit during the daytime. Sometimes it's hard. I mean, if he did start sleeping like regularly in a good pattern, then it would be a lot easier than very sporadically, because then he's like, the thumb kind of goes like this and he's like poking eyeballs out, but he's making great progress. I do a lot, and some of my older people like massage his hands and stuff, and so it really helps the muscles, and they were able to expand his fingers out further, which was great. Good news about that. Yeah, we'll talk about like housing and thoughts and all that type of stuff another day. I will update you with heme and let you know just kind of how that goes tomorrow. Is it funny? Okay guys, so the last thing with Azariah, down in my basement doing laundry because we just got back. So the last thing with Azariah was he went to Hematology, which he was, if you remember, if you go way back, it's his 1-year anniversary of having his blood clot. Yes, remember they went to put a central line into his chest to try to get everything going on. He was in a really bad state. And when they put the central line into him, it clotted in one of the luminaries, whatever. It clotted. And so then he had a clot in his chest. And they didn't want to normally they would use a blood thinner, and they didn't want to use the blood thinner because he had a brain bleed. So they decided not to. So for months and months and months, he had this blood clot still in him, and so they were monitoring it, because what if it like got loose and like gave him an aneurysm, or is that the name of it, where the blood clot comes loose and it can like be really bad. So they were monitoring that. Well, back in June, they found that he had none. It was all gone. But that said, there are some things that need to be looked for about a year after you've had a blood clot. It's like a type of thrombosis. So they measured like his arms to make sure they're the right size, made sure there wasn't any like difference in a certain couple things. So they will check that. They check that he is great, and they Need to kind of keep up with him just once a year for a couple years. And mainly that is if he ever needs a central line, a PICC line, or something like that, that they would encourage him to have just a baseline blood thinner. So they need to have a doctor that's kind of following him that would, if that occurred, then he would be the doctor to kind of like be the go-to for that. So that's who I spoke with today in Heme. So the doctor's really nice. He's actually at the top actually in the world. They're doing a lot of study. There's like some studies coming out. They used to always just give blood thinners even if they had a brain bleed, and then sometimes like the brain would like overbleed and then it would cause the baby to die. So he has been working with some people, I think he said Norway, and they just came out recently in the summertime to speak to the NICU unit and to say that if this is happening and the baby has a brain bleed, they have done lots of studies that just like they did with Azariah, they did not treat it with a anticoagulant, or they did like a base one in, but they weren't giving him injections of that. So they did it in the actual like area that was clogged, but they weren't like giving it throughout to help with the brain bleed. So to not make it expand more. So they've been doing studies and stuff for that, and he's been in the forefront of that, which is really kind of cool. And so he kind of was saying like Azariah is one of the patients that it's worked really well with. And they're finding that to be more true than not. So it's been helpful for him to see like Azariah and other babies that he's chosen not to do a blood thinner on. So yeah, that was about it. So what's coming up? We have tomorrow, I have the appointment to do, which will probably be in next video, which is going to be his appointment to go over the whole BiPAP situation, which we just had this study on. Then we have early intervention coming out. We have nursing coming out. Case management coming out. So case management and nursing and OT, I think on Friday. And then next week I have, what do I have? I have another equipment clinic, so we're going to measure him for all sorts of stuff, which is going to be exciting. Yeah, so I think that's going to tidy up this week's addition to Azariah. I don't even know what to say. I literally got back. It's like probably like 6 at night or something like that. I'm trying to finish up some videos so I'm able to like upload those and stuff tomorrow. So I will have a Zoom appointment about that tomorrow, and then that will actually go in next week's video. So I'm hoping to like upload some stuff to get it off my camera so my camera doesn't go on overload like it did before. So I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful week, and we'll see you next week.